Respawn. Hey everyone, it's Mac. There's a lot to consider before making the decision to become a parent. It can be very easy to see all the cute pictures of your friends' kids and think parenting is all rainbows and butterflies. However, if you talk with anyone who actually has kids, I'm sure that they will tell you there are some big surprises on the other end, including a few things that never crossed their minds. As one of the first of my friends to become a dad, I really didn't have many peers to talk to about parenting, so there are quite a few things that I experienced that were pretty big wake-up calls. Without further ado, here's a list of 5 things that I wish I knew before becoming a parent. Alright guys, number 1, your life will never be the same. It's one of, if not the biggest moments of your life. But what I mean is that your child becomes your life. Now you can have big goals and big dreams, but some of those just become a little bit harder to realize once you have another human being relying on you for survival. There are a number of shifts that will occur in your daily life, including changes to your schedule, finances, and relationships. It's important to take some time to really think about what your personal goals are and how they may be affected once you decide to become a parent. I'll be making some videos on how these changes impacted me personally and how to manage them to maintain a balance between parenthood and individual life. I'll make sure to link them for you, but make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you can check them out as soon as they come out. Alright, so number 2, sick days no longer exist. Now, it's tough as an adult to take sick days as it is, especially if you work a full-time job. However, it's just about impossible to take a true sick day to recover when you have a child that you need to provide for. And to make things worse, your kid will likely be sick quite often during their first few years of life as they build up immunities. Unfortunately, some of those bugs will probably make their way through your house. And to be honest, I've been more sick in the short time since I became a dad than I probably have in the last 15 years combined. Now do your best to get rest when you can, but between parent life and work life, sick days will be few and far between. Number 3, your schedule will revolve around nap time and bedtime. Now this ties back to number 1, but this is really something that changes your lifestyle, especially if you're very sociable and enjoy going out. It can be hard to get used to at first. Sleep is key for both a parent and a child, and good sleep can be very hard to come by, especially if your child isn't a great sleeper. Ours was not. When your child finally does get into a good sleep schedule, you will want to do whatever it takes to keep them on it. Now this means that nap time and bedtime are absolute hard stopping points in your day. If you want to get out of the house, you need to factor in that time to make the trip back. Now while car naps can be okay, in my experience they tend to be a lot shorter, which throws the wake times and subsequent sleep times out of whack. Kinsley can sleep for 15 minutes in the car and be wide awake and ready to go for the next 6 hours, but then when bedtime rolls around, she's crazy. Brunch and evening entertainment are going to be tough sells these days, particularly when the venue is more than 20 minutes away. Time is always of the essence, and that baby clock is something that you don't want to mess with. Speaking of time, if you're really enjoying the video, I would appreciate it if you could give me a thumbs up, as this really helps the channel. Number 4, kids are expensive. Now this one may seem very obvious, but the expenses a child presents can be hard to assess for first-time parents. Even for parents with multiple children, it can be tough to anticipate expenses because kids can just be so different from each other. Outside of the large expenses that you may or may not have plans to save for, such as cars or college or weddings, the day-to-day costs of having a child can be pretty overwhelming. Just the necessities of formula or food, diapers, wipes, childcare costs, pediatric expenses, medicine, for one child can be enough to run you a pretty significant monthly bill, which in some cases can be close to or even more than a mortgage payment. Just make sure to budget ahead of time and be conservative so you're covered if an unexpected expense arises. I'll be making a video about the expenses for a child and will provide some tips on how to budget accordingly and also how to save some money. Just make sure to check that out. Number 5, self-care is important. This last one is something that I realized after the first year of parenthood. The first year is just so exciting and there's a lot going on, and naturally the parental instincts seem to be on full alert as you just grind through that first 365 days of your child's life. However, once you get past that big first birthday party, the parenthood honeymoon phase may start to wear off. As with a new car or a new job, the initial joy and excitement can sometimes turn into the realization that you're in it for the long haul. Now, don't take that as being a parent becoming an experience to be dreaded. In my opinion, it's the exact opposite. But even then, there are days when you may start daydreaming about the golden days of being a young married couple with the whole world in front of you. The day in, day out grind of being a parent is tough. There's no doubt about it. Which is why it is so important to carve out some time in your schedule for some self-care. Now, that's a lot easier said than done, but with some good planning and dedication, even a 15 to 20 minute break to have a glass of wine or to watch an episode of your favorite show, either by yourself or with your spouse, can really relieve a lot of the stress that comes with parenting. It's so important to keep yourself fresh with these little breathers so you can tackle the next day of parenthood full force. Now, I hope this list didn't scare any of you away from wanting to become a parent. These are just a few of the things that I never really took the time to think about or put into practice before becoming a parent. For those of you who may be on the fence about becoming a parent, I hope that this list may provide some extra things to consider to make sure it's the right time for you to take the plunge. If you enjoyed the video and don't mind, please smash that thumbs up. I appreciate you all. Thanks for watching.